वो है टॉपिक में स्केल प्रोपोर्शन में है क्लास में भी हो गया है प्राइमर का भी चल रहा है। देखो कितना कम मार्क्स आया, तुम पढ़ते नहीं क्या, तुमको समझ भी नहीं आता है क्या है ये। हाँ जिसने भी पढ़ाया तभी ना तुमको ना, ये हमारे मैम ने पढ़ाया था ये वाले नाम नाम भी किसे पढ़ाती हूँ ये वाले मैम ने पढ़ाया और आपने कहा था टीचर चेंज करने के लिए नहीं कौन सी फिर क्या करते हैं साइंस का नहीं है ना अच्छे से तैयार करो। इसके बाद में एक लेक्चर में अभी स्टार्टेड constitutional design. Yes, constitutional design. Which school you are? Right. You are having that constitutional design plus one more lesson I have to complete, no? Socialism in Ma'am, did we like are you guys done with the exploration? French Revolution is over, no? Okay, ma'am. It is the city standard also. I heard.
She wants to qualify.
They should initial constitutional design and then start the
Check the lessons.
can you check the status? Check the status. Oh, it's telling me. Yes. Is having exam or not? She didn't ask. You are in this school? Okay. I'm will continue.
The French Revolution or we can
Socialism.
Stabilism and New Europe. What is democracy, why democracy? और ये क्या
Constitutional.
हाँ
और कोई नहीं आ रहा?
नहीं
Geography.
जियोग्राफी इंडिया साइड लोकेशन
हाँ.
क्लाइमेट नहीं आ रहा फिजिकल फीचर ऑफ इंडिया आ रहा है
और
नहीं आ रहा
economics.
इकोनॉमी भी है
कहाँ जी रहा है?
चार्जर है the story of village farm बस एक
Okay, ma'am. So we'll finish the constitutional design and we can start the second chapter. Okay. Yes. So, do you remember where we have yes talked that? Were you present that day? You were yes. Now the last question we did was why do we need a constitution? Why do we need a constitution? We finished the. So that why do we need a constitution is taught or not? Yes, ma'am. Now, how was the procedure of making Indian constitution? See, one day it cannot be started and made. Because before the independence, we were under the British rule. So, before that British, before getting independence, we were under the kingship for a long time. So, it was dictatorship. There was no need of any constitution. Now there felt the need of a constitution which bring the rules and regulations. So that is why it was started to prepare the constitution. So how it all happened? Let us see that before that okay. We know that when we have to make a constitution, there should be some kind of conditions required to organize it. That is how it should be. India was a vast country. And a transformation from dictatorship to democracy is not very easy. That is why during the struggle itself, the plan for the preparation of the constitution started. That is, during the fight against the British, in 1928 itself, some kind of work for preparing the constitution started. So let's see. Ma'am, yes, आज network था ना? नहीं. Say for okay. Textbook anybody is having? I do. That is so little bit we have that day we have studied about the constitution drafting of South Africa. We have learned that the oppressors and the oppressed people sat together and made that beautiful constitution. It is and people and so it is an inspiration to the Democrats all over the world. Such a question, if it is coming, so you can turn to textbook page number 21. You just write why Democrats all over the world. I am giving that. I am dictating. Democrats all over the world were inspired by the South African Constitution. South African Constitution. See, page number 21, have you taken? So the right hand side top, the South African Constitution inspires Democrats all over the world. A state denounced by the entire world till 1994. 1994 as the most undemocratic one is now seen as a model of democracy. Okay, then what made this change possible was the determination of the people of South Africa to work together. We have seen the whites and the blacks sat together. They made the constitution together. So that is what the determination of the people to transform bitter experiences into binding blue of the rainbow nation. So this country, South Africa, is called as Rainbow Nation. Okay, so it acts as a binding glue of the Rainbow Nation. Then that much you have to mention. Okay. Understood? Can you mark? I have just marked. Okay. Then afterwards you check it. So that when they sat together and drafted and they agreed to work together, that was the model for the world. So then what all are the features? Why do we need a constitution? That day I have told you some of the points. Then some points. All the four points. 2 points first, then 4 points. Okay, now the stages of making the constitution, how it all started. We know that, let us go back to our independence. When we got independence, it was not a happy end. It was the beginning of bloodshed and violence. Understood? Okay, one side we are happy, we got independence from the hands of British. But it was very sad. Why it was sad? Because large number of people were killed. Then there was the problem of refugees. From Pakistan, large number of people were coming to India. It was to be, these people were to be accommodated. So much problem was there. So that is why it was not a happy. Then still we have to find out a kind of condition in which we are ruling ourselves. That is why the work for the making of the constitution have started long back. When it was started during the time of national movement itself. Different stages of national movement were there. The first such stage was taken in 1928. That is, you can just write down because it is not a given the stages. Okay. Motilal Nehru drafted a constitution for India. So when it was done, 1928. We got independence in 1947. So the first one was in 1928. Then another stage was that in 1931, Karachi Resolution. Karachi Resolution. So in the Karachi Resolution, what was that? This some changes were included. So what all ideas to be included in the constitution were added. So first 1928, then 1931, some additions were made. That is, they wanted to add the words equality, freedom, and all. Okay. Okay, this one was taken place in which year? 1931. Then another thing is that this they have decided to form a constituent assembly. Formation of constituent assembly. What is the aim of the constituent assembly? That is to frame the constitution. Okay, when the Constituent Assembly was Constituent Assembly was formed to frame. Okay, aim of the Constituent Assembly was to frame F-R-A-M-E, frame the Constitution. This one was formed in 1946. So in between, what happened? there was an act passed 1935, Government of India Act. Government of India Act, they have British have suggested the formation of legislative assembly, imperial legislative assembly, consists of 2 houses. So that way elections had to be taken place, and 1937 elections were taken place. 1937. So what was that in 1935 Act? According to that, in 1937 elections were taken place, and what is that? The council was formed. Election to form that legislative assembly. See, you listen. 1935 Act was passed. According to that Act, what was that? Election to the legislative assemblies had to be taken place. Understood? Are you here? There's some problem with you. Something. You are absent-minded. Yes. So that elections to that legislative assembly had to be taken place. Okay, so 1935 itself election was not taken place. The election was taken place in 1937. Okay, according to that, most of that provinces, Congress formed the government. Muslim League, another party was that Muslim League. Muslim League got in 1 or 2 places, provinces only. First, all the places, Congress won the election. That was the background for that election to Constituent Assembly. Okay. Now, in between, that Congress and the Muslim League had fight. 1940, Muslim League demanded we want a separate country. Understood? So that made an understanding among the national leaders that we cannot go together. Muslims wanted a separate nation. Now India wanted freedom from the British. So we have to make a constitution and make a government to which British will transfer the power. Understood? There was no king to transfer the power. So if we make a constitution and form a government, only British can transfer the power. So that was the background for the formation of Constituent Assembly. Got it or not? This much? Now afterwards, we have studied that India have different languages, different customs, different religious people. Everyone should be represented in the Constituent Assembly. So that is why a special type of election was taken place to form the Constituent Assembly. And the groups which are not represented through election were nominated. Such minorities were the Parsi community, Anglo-Indian community, like that. Those people who did not get representation through election, they were nominated. So, a kind of diverse Constituent Assembly was formed. Means every group got representation. Did you get it? Election time, only 1 or 2 parties are getting the chance. But every region and every linguistic group or every that religious group will not get the representation in that way. So those groups which are not getting representation were nominated. Are you getting? Because little faster I am going. If you are not understanding, you can ask. Okay. Because the target is given. This was happening in 1937. 1937 onwards. That is still 1946. Okay. This condition was going on. Understood? So, in between nationalist movement, many important events have taken place. So, British did not plan to give independence. In all the type of movements also, they were not ready to give freedom to India. Yes. So, in between, Quit India movement was there. Then afterwards, 1946, only Cripps mission came to India. So they decided that, okay, we will pass that independence to India. So accordingly, that is the moment they were waiting for. One word from the British side, if it is coming, we are ready to take it. So that is why they were having that preparation earlier. So, but like the preparation was in front of it. See, I have told you 1928 onwards they were having what all things to be included in the constitution. Now, when British told that okay, we will grant you independence before 1948. One word came. So they have decided to prepare the constitution. And that work started in 1946. Okay, that assembly came to be known as Constituent Assembly. The assembly to frame the constitution was known as Constituent Assembly. Got it? Is it clear? Yes. Now, I will tell you that is some of the numbers, the part of the constitution, pronunciation. Drafting of the document called the constitution was done by an assembly of elected. What is Constituent Assembly? What is Constituent Assembly? Write the question. What is Constituent Assembly? The drafting of the document called of the of a document called Constitution called CALLED document called Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called Constituent Assembly. Okay. Constituent Assembly understood. Now, how this Constituent Assembly was composed of? How many members are there? And on the basis of what? It was based on cabinet mission. It was based on cabinet mission. What is cabinet mission? The ministers from Britain came. And according to their suggestion, this was planned. Okay. British ministers came to India So that mission, that commission is known as cabinet mission because it consists of ministers. Got it? Yes. So based on what? Cabinet mission. Why is it called a cabinet mission? Yes. Got it? Yes. Now, how many members were there? So it was constituted on 1946 July. Okay. Now, how many members? 389 members. Okay. Yes. How many members? 389 members. Continue fast. 389 members, that is, they were elected from provinces. Did you understand what is provinces? Provinces were the territories directly ruled by the British. Directly. Okay. Provinces, we know that Bengal province, Madras province, Bombay province, Central province, Northwestern Frontier province, like that. Okay? Is it clear? Are you getting?
Madras province.
Yes, very good. So, so these 389 members are elected from the provinces. Now, and another this thing, province ke saath, which one is that here? You know that the princely states were there. Princely states are the states ruled by the princes or kings. Okay. So this provincials and princely states. Okay, clear? And its first meeting was held in December 19. First meeting. December 1946. Okay. So July में form किया. Then first meeting was held in December 1946. Now July में क्या किया? July में ये constant assembly और December that is election करके constant assembly form हो गया. First meeting was held in December. मतलब ये 389 members sat together. Now you see 1946. December is the end of 1946. Yes. We got independence 1947 August 15th. Okay. Yes. So very few months gap was there. By the time what happened, in one India was divided into two. So when they started their work, they were together. Now, in the middle, it was separated. Yes. That was a big problem. Yes. Because of that, its meeting membership was reduced to 308. Understood? After partition. See, well, why? No, now write all the things. So the state by state things it will be very easy. Because we are very less only. So this. After partition, the number reduced to 308. Got it? Now, the assembly represented people of all shades and opinions, the regions and communities. I have told you, those people, those religious group, minorities and all, who were not elected to the Constituent Assembly were nominated. So every section was included in this. Okay. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. 299 members participated in writing the Constitution. Okay, so 308 members were there. So 9 members were not involved in that writing. They were having some other class. Okay. Got it clear? Yes, ma'am. Now next is that it included eminent persons like who was the chairman of the drafting committee? Yeah. Page number 21. So, chairman of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, chairman of the Constituent Assembly. वो जो 308 members का वो chairman कौन था? Rajendra Prasad. Okay. Now, another. Hey, what is this? Mom, you are in the class, no? You just cover your mouth and then don't make sound. Chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay. See, what is the difference? वो जो 308 members का chairman था Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Yes. And draft करने वाला committee का chairman था Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. ये constitution वो जो उसका draft बनाना है. तो उसका chairman था Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. What to be included, what not to be included, all this. Are you writing, sir? No.
Dr. B.R.
Show me.
He's Dr. Man, why did they name revolution? Why did they name like Africa the revolution?
South Africa, no?
Because different color people, black people, white people, and Asian people.
That also.
Yes.
And rainbow is coming. That is when it is coming, starting from one part to another. South Africa is considered as what is that Antarctic connecting to that part, no? No, That is what the topic these people were having. No?
I mean, yeah, it's like you start. Someone can start with it. It's like this. So these people are put down the signal there.
Okay. The Constituent Assembly represented the people of all castes and creeds. Besides the Hindus, the Muslims, and the Sikhs, there were Christians like Dr. H.C. Mukherjee, Anglo-Indians like Frank Anthony, Parsis like Dr. H.P. Modi. So all these groups were represented. Women members like Sarojini Naidu, Durgabai Deshmukh and Renuka Rai also played an important part in the Constituent Assembly. In short, Constituent Assembly was the mirror of the nation. 21 page, just one. Last point. No, first part, the last one.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Now,
Okay, sorry.
got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, still writing. After yawning, sleeping, all these things.
Ma'am, you did something about the Dwarka, ma'am.
About yawning. Yes, this part is over or not?
Very done.
Which part you are writing?
Yes. Ma'am, give a comment. I can go.
हो गया ना? Now let's see that how that framing of the constitution. See, president, who was the president of the Constituent Assembly? Okay. On 29th August 1947, the Constituent Assembly appointed the drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. So, which day? 29th 29th August 1947. Okay? That day only drafting committee was formed. HP Modi का लिखा है.
Yes, ma'am. इधर HP Modi मतलब
हम नरेंद्र मोदी का सर HP Modi. No.
Anthony, Dr.
Frank Anthony.
Dr. HP Modi.
Dr. HP Modi belonged to that Parsi community.
Parsi. So Parsi.
So here, 29th August 1947, drafting committee was formed. Okay.
For
By the Dr. Then, after 6 months, draft Constitution of India was prepared. So,
इसने कौन किया था? इसने कौन किया था डॉक्टर?
No. Drafting committee का chairman कौन था? I know it. Next, that one is that by February 1948. Draft constitution was formed on February 1948. Okay. So while draft was prepared, see, it is not the final one. In the draft, corrections are possible.
Okay.
All the things are included or not. Whether any part has to be removed or actions to be made. So that is why the first it's a draft was prepared. So it took only 6 months to prepare. So after 6 months, this one was draft was finalized. And another thing, they met November 1948. 1948 to consider the provisions
of the drafting of the draft constitution.
Always studying from Mr. Head. Always studying from there.
So drafts provisions are to be discussed. So then this work of second reading of the different clauses was completed by 17th August. See, it was not he alone. Drafting committee is there. No?
Okay, ma'am.
So that
And how many members?
from it only that your drafting committee was selected. See, constituent assembly that I have to check it out.
29 members.
299 members that work on that constitution.
Yes, ma'am.
So draft that drafting committee, how many members were there? I have to check it out.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So 17th October 1948. Sorry, 49.
1948, yes, ma'am.
49. Because November 48 only. Wait. November 1948 only consider. Okay. So here, second reading. See, second reading is what?
I'm going through it again.
See, if any bill has to be passed,
Yes, ma'am.
it has to go through first reading, second reading, and third reading. Third reading is voting.
Yes, ma'am.
So the first reading is what the draft was given. And second reading was that happened on 17th October. Got it? Clear? November. No, November 1948. And second reading was on 17th October 1949. Okay. Then the constitution was adopted 26th November 1949. Okay. In the preamble, the last part is written. Read preamble. Have you got here also is there? Preamble. It is given. That is, we adopt, enact, and give ourselves to this constitution on 26th November 1949. So that is what here 26th November.
Okay.
So we adopted that constitution.
And this was the third day.
You see that 1946 to 1949, when we are taking almost 3 years we are getting. So how many days are 2 years, 11 months, 2 years, 11 months in between. 11 months and 18 days.
And for
Framing the constitution.
Okay, ma'am.
So how many days?
2 years,
11 months and 18 days. Now, but 2 years means how many days? 365 plus 365 plus 11. Like that is already happened. So actually, This was held for 114 days.
Yes.
Actual work means from framing to completion of the constitution, it was 2 years, 11 months and 18. But the actual work, this one was 114 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
The assembly adopted the constitution on 26 November 1949, but it came into effect
On January 26, 1930.
There was a reason for it. I'll tell you. That day, India became a republic. Okay. You just said that I don't have the name. See, when the nationalist movement was going on,
Yes.
different stages were there. 1929, they have decided, Congress have decided to fight for Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj or complete independence.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this one, complete independence period, if British were not ready to grant, we will celebrate our independence day. Accordingly, they decided to celebrate Independence Day on 26th January 1930 onwards. 1930 onwards, they were celebrating the Independence Day.
Understood? Republic Day.
Wait, what I am telling? This Republic Day came or not? We become a republic on 1930.
No, ma'am.
No. So I have told you 1929. First, they decided to fight for complete independence. If British were not ready to grant,
Yes, ma'am.
we will celebrate Independence Day.
Okay.
So Independence Day pledges were taken. So
Okay.
on 26th January 1930, they started celebrating. So every year on 26th January, they were celebrating. Now, 1947 also they have celebrated. August 15th, we got independence.
Yes, like when British.
So, we decided to make our country a republic on 26th January. So, the day which we were celebrating Independence Day from 1930 onwards, now we will celebrate as Republic Day.
Yes.
So, that day India became a republic. So, that day was selected to adopt the constitution. Constitution was already made, but it was in 1949 November it was made. But we waited till January 1926. Sorry, 1950 January 26. Okay, now what is a republic? You tell me. What is a republic? First, you have to. Sit now. No problem. Sit.
Public mom when the British.
What is republic?
Now India was freedom
The constitution was adopted.
Okay. See, now the republic is a country in which the head of the country is elected. Republic is a country in which the head is elected by the
President.
by the
president. So when we got independence, what happened? That times that from Constituent Assembly, one person was chosen to be the Prime Minister. Election was not taken place. From the Constituent Assembly, Jawaharlal Nehru was chosen to be the first Prime Minister.
Okay.
Okay. So 1947 onwards, we had that parliamentary system. The Constituent Assembly was just converted into a parliament. Now, president we don't have. So from the Constituent Assembly, that is the chairman of the Constituent Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was chosen to be the first president. So that day, we know that if you observe, you can find on Republic Day, president used to hoist the flag. But on Independence Day, Prime Minister. See the difference. Republic का head कौन है? President. We are not having kingship. We are having an elected head. So that kind of country is termed as Republic. Got it? All of you understood, no? Clearly. He is still in that rainbow nation.
Can you give that
But Republic. I will give you because in that preamble का words है ना, all the words I have to define.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. You are there now. Not a rainbow nation, na.
Sir, the Republic Day is for president.
Republic Day.
When president is elected.
President is elected. No, Republic. We decided to accept that constitution on that Republic. 26th January 1950. Clear? Doubt is clear, no? Now, listen. So, we have drafted the constitution or we have adopted the constitution from 1949, 1950. Till date, we are using that or we are having that constitution.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a question. Why should we accept a constitution made by this assembly more than 75 years ago? So those who are having that volume, underline the points. This question is also there. Here the question is about 50 years, but we know that very well that it is not 50 years, 76, 78 years. Now, that why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 50 years? Okay, whatever is the question, you can. The constitution was framed with the consensus of all leaders. That is the first point. So every leaders or every members agreed upon. That is what the consensus.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone agreed upon. So there is no chance of that leaving it after a few days. Everyone agreed upon. Then basic values are accepted by all leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate on the Constitution. So we have seen that in 1928 onwards, some parts were already made. So it was not in 1946 the work started. Much before many of the aspects of the Constitution was prepared. Next, the Constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone. See, actually 299 members were there. It was not the words of only the 299 members. It was the reflection of all the people of the country. हमको represent करने के लिए जो लोग उधर बैठे थे.
Okay.
All the sections were represented. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? It expresses a broad consensus of its type. That time, they have considered many different aspects and then they reached in consensus. The legitimacy of the constitution is unquestionable. The legal value of the constitution is unquestionable. That is, see, in your textbook it is given that one point. See, page number 25, it is given. The manner in which the Constituent Assembly works gives sanctity to the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open and consensual manner. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then, a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution. So one time, no, many times. Its merits, demerits, its effects, everything were discussed. Then close by close discussion was taken. Clauses, that is a very minute part also discussed. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. Amendments are the changes which are made in the constitution. How many amendments? More than 2,000 amendments. Now, the members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. Every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. Now, if any doubt is there, that can be referred. So that much perfection is in the Constitution. These are called Constituent Assembly debates. The debate which was made after the draft is called a Constituent Assembly debate. After drafting it, when it came for discussion, that is called a Constituent Assembly debate. Okay. Then, when printed, these debates are 12 bulky volumes. Only the debates are prepared in 12 big volumes.
What are volume?
Volume means a very big book. Only that debate points were made, not the constitution. Okay. So that much perfection is there in the preparation of the constitution. Then these debates provide the rationale behind every provision of the constitution. These are used to interpret the meaning of the constitution. Okay. Clear? So,
Yeah.
the second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represents the people of India. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then the drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives called the Constituent Assembly. So these all things we have already discussed. Okay. There was no universal adult franchise at that time. So the Constituent Assembly was elected indirectly, mainly by members of the existing provincial legislatures.
Yeah, we are
One more.
अच्छा आपका lecture है
What happened?
Ma'am, I thought that the teacher had a question.
Break है ना?
5 minutes हो गए
5
नहीं 5 minutes हो गए फिर 30 से चेक किया था हम लोगों क्या मेरे टेक्स्ट बुक है ना
we have to this thing continue.
After
Completely.
no, this first week में जब तक complete हो जाएगा
नहीं वो
मैंने तो सुना नहीं सब खा के आया मैं ना पावर जी को क्या केक खा के आया दुनिया में
मेरे को यही बच्चे सर LGBTQ के लिए मतलब टू है इसलिए है ना
क्रैश बोला तुमने
हाँ
मैंने क्रैश नहीं बोला
क्रैश बोला
शिट बोला
हाँ
तो ठीक है और नीचे
व्हाट स्टोरी
तो मैं क्या इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉलो करूं
नहीं बट व्हाट
मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कितने दिनों से डब्बा से इंग्लिश स्कूल में लोग गधे की गांड बोलते हैं
You deserve that.
Oh my God, इसने सीन पे छोड़ा हो
एक पेपर तेरा बाकी था वेरी लेस मार्क आई डोंट नो व्हाई ये कहाँ गया मुझे बता दो तुम्हारे तो क्या चाहिए तुमको मैथ्स में चाहिए संडे वी आर हैविंग पेपर दैट मींस योर पेपर इज सोशल एंड इंग्लिश want to change any other subject
Maths और टेस्ट चाहिए
wait वो का क्वेश्चन क्या चाहिए she told Heron's formula और
मैथ्स और नेक्स्ट वन में प्राइमस नहीं प्राइमस सब का इसलिए पढ़ भी चाहिए ना और एक भी का अगले संडे
इस संडे को मैं बोल रही
इस संडे को मैं लॉन्च कर दूंगा उसके नेक्स्ट संडे को टाइमस
एक ही चैप्टर रखो
यहाँ एक ही चैप्टर था उसके अगले मतलब ये संडे को हेरॉन्स वाला
वही तो मैं बोल रही हूँ ओनली वन चैप्टर नंबर के लिए भी चैप्टर्स
हम इस बार आप रख सकते हो हेरॉन्स का होना कोई भी इंग्लिश का चैप्टर इंग्लिश लिखी है
इंग्लिश का आंसर
हाँ
और यू डोंट वांट सोशल
नो
तुम्हारा
यहाँ प्रिपेयर फॉर सोशल
मेरा क्या हुआ हाँ
सही नहीं मुझे हेरोन
वो अभी तो नहीं है बट तुम्हारा 9th स्टैंडर्ड में है वो पता है
उम्मीद
हाँ
उम्मीद
उम्मीद नहीं
हमारे में क्या बोल
सारे
यहाँ पढ़ाया है ना
हाँ
हाँ तो तुम अटेंड करना चाहिए कितना होता है तुम रिवाइज करो थोड़ा तो हेल्प हो जाएगा तो मैं हेरॉन्स फॉर्मूला बोलूं
इंग्लिश में भी
हाँ तुम्हारा प्रॉब्लम नहीं ना तैयारी करके आ जाओ इस संडे को है
एक दो लिखाया था ना ये दोनों बहुत नींद दे रहे हैं ये लोग बहुत डिस्टर्ब करते हैं बहुत डिस्टर्ब
खाते बैठने का
हाँ खाता हूँ देखो एक दिन देखा
क्या था उसमें क्या चाहिए तुमको
कुछ नहीं चाहिए अब इसको मंगवा दो नहीं मैम मैं कुछ मैम हाँ क्या है उसका मैंने अभी डोसा मांगना स्पेशल
I need the award.
क्या बता क्या होता है
नहीं